What you want, champion?
Good evening.
Are we
Y'all doing?
live? Okay, there
What
we
you
go.
doing? Where
There we
y'all
go.
at? Oh, y'all got plans. Don't stay there. We gonna leave the door open. We gonna leave the door open. We gonna leave the door open, folks. Tell me when y'all
Hey,
coming through. Ooh. There you go. That's all I got for y'all today.
we're gonna close the door on some people. We're gonna
Oh
close the door on
yeah.
some people
Real,
tonight.
real
That's for
fast. Real
sure.
fast. Yep. Real
That's
fast
for
with y'all,
sure.
real fast with y'all, Jake ass. Let's go. So
I'm just
it's
sending them.
Monday.
I'm sharing the links real quick.
It's Monday, you guys. So we got a lot of little stuff that we're gonna discuss. Um, I would just be the first one to tell y'all, like, I'm still very, very, very annoyed with the product that we're seeing on Sundays. Some of these teams are coming out unprepared at a level that I just don't understand how you're unprepared and you play in the NFL. Still not understanding it. Coaching has to be better, but the players got to take some accountability for this. And some of this is I think, from not getting some of the repetition that they need to get during the week with some of the limited practices and things of that nature. I think we got a lot of things here that we can attest to why the product is being so sloppy. Um, I know you might say,
Yeah,
well, what do you mean by sloppy? Well, let's start with play calling. Situationally, we should be way more aware of what teams want to do with us on a consistent down and down basis. What are the strengths and weaknesses of this particular team? What players we want to take out of these matchups? What players we would like to see if they have what they the proverbial juice or not. We want to see these type of things, but we're not seeing this on a consistent basis because number one, the coaches aren't making and constructing a game plan, I think, from a week to week basis. I think we're not, when I say a week to week basis, I'm saying strictly from a opponent to opponent thing. If I'm playing against the Rams, I know that they have a good pass rush. So when I'm playing against a team with a good pass rush, I need to incorporate some screens, some draws, anything to get those defensive ends and that defensive line coming forward, and I can get something by going behind them. That type of thing. I'm playing against a team that's not really good at rushing a passer. Um, then I can afford to be in certain down this situations because I know that you have to do what you have to blitz. So why are we not focused on, if they have to blitz, again another instance where we can use what screen passes, things of that nature.
mhm.
The screen pass, that is one of the biggest areas of opportunity that I will say that I see on a consistent basis that we're not using a lot of. I don't want to see tunnel screens. I want to see running back screens, tight end screens, things that are going to get the guys who are the closest to the quarterback the ball in space and let them operate. Um, a lot of big play opportunities I think are missed just off that play alone. Um, Besides that, defensively, I think the defenses are starting to catch up to some of the offensive game plans, and that's why we're starting to see some of these guys be able to cover some of these receivers, especially at the rate that we're seeing. Speed. I've never seen us be able to cancel out so much speed in my life, and it's just really just from sloppy play. When I say sloppy play and canceling out speed, Jamison Williams and Jameer Gibbs are the two fastest players on the field in that Lions and that Vikings game. And we only seen one or two plays in which we were able to actually see the speed difference. And one of those plays, you can argue, was kind of a push off. Well, I'll let you go ahead and start.
Well, I appreciate you holding it down while we shared the links, and certainly everything that you just discussed, we will be talking about in length, especially when it comes to the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers, a lot of teams, the Los Angeles Chargers. Like a few weeks ago, it looked very crowded at the top. And we talked about it, Jeremy. It's going to naturally play itself out where it's not as cluttered. And that's one thing that we're going to get into tonight because there might seem like there's a lot of clutter, but we are here to provide clarity for you in your life. This is what we do. We are football therapists, okay? And therapy is in session. We're going to do a brief recap, as we always do here on the Monday Blues and Past Views. And then we're going to get into a lot of conversation, a lot of topics. We got some people in the background. We got some people that are going to join us later. And hopefully, we get our resident college football experts on the program tonight so that we can talk to them a little bit college ball. But as always, let's go through it real quick. Falcons versus Patriots. Patriots continue streaking. 6-game winning streak now for them. They beat the Falcons 24-23. Drake May had a couple of questionable plays, but that's going to happen throughout the season. Bears versus Bengals. We'll get into that. Bears win a wild one, 47-42. Vikings go into Detroit with J.J. McCarthy and pull off probably the biggest upset of the weekend, beating them 27-24. I see your upset of the weekend, and I raise you Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers going into Lambeau Field, walk-off game-winning field goal. Rico Dowdle continues to be the caboose of that train. Um, Chargers versus Titans. Chargers, a very unimpressive game from the Chargers. They win 27-20. Speaking of impressive, the San Francisco 49ers, they went into New York, took care of business 34-24, wasn't even that close. Colts versus Steelers in one of the shocking. Um, okay. Sorry, we'll talk about it, what I just got later. It's not pressing. Um, and one of the probably the more shocking results of the weekend for some people, but not if you listen to Views and Views, because we told you all it takes is one game for Mike Tomlin to have this defense right. It was a lot more about the way Pittsburgh played versus the way Indianapolis played. To me, Steelers get the home win by a touchdown. Broncos, I got a lot to say about the Broncos tonight. They beat the Texans by a field goal. Jaguars escaped Las Vegas after Pete Carroll put all his chips at the table. Chip Kelly, chips. Anyways, Saints versus Rams. Rams did exactly what they were supposed to do. I felt like they were going to come into that game with cruise control. Control. Instead, they kept it pedal to the metal for the most part. And Chiefs versus Bills. We're going to get into that game briefly, but me and Germ don't. We don't feel like that game is as significant as the national media might have you believe. But the Bills nonetheless won 28-21. Probably Josh Allen's best performance of the year. Probably the best performance of his career, to be honest with you. 23 of 26, 273 yards passing, one touchdown. And then Seahawks versus the Commanders. I saw something online that said just because the government is shut down in DC, I didn't realize that meant that the football team would be shut down as well. They got stomped last night, and I do mean stomped. Jaden Daniels, unfortunately, is out for the year now with that elbow injury. We can start real there, right? We can start quickly right there, Germ. Topic of conversation. Did you feel like they should have pulled Jaden Daniels and not kept him in there when it was 38-7 with 10 minutes to play in the fourth quarter?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we kind of the game was over at halftime.
Yeah. Which obviously you're not going to pull him at halftime. And
Absolutely.
and
You give him the third you give the benefit of the doubt in the third quarter because of the football gods and you try to play football the right way, but there's no reason why. Listen, man. I understand that we believe we can fly, we can touch the sky, and we think about it every night and day. But I need y'all to get y'all sh together because this right here is a classic example of just not being very smart in the situation. Oh, the game is over. So let's just live the like. This is a good time for you to get some other guys in that you may need to see. There's plenty of guys that we need to see on that football team, probably that you don't have a solid, valid like role for. That you can find roles in these type of games. And blowout performances is you might throw the tape away for a lot of the things, but you can find some tape for other things. And that's part of the attention to detail that I'm talking about with coaching. Like, where are we at with that, Mo? I think I would like to get your analysis on that because that's what I always thought a blowout loss was to figure out things.
What, what exactly is the question? Because I could go so many ways with it.
Is a blowout loss a time for you to figure out things, or is it a time for
Absolutely.
you to? I mean, but most importantly, the things that you noted for sure, you don't put those things in danger.
So I think number one, and I don't want to keep using them as a reference in so many of our conversations. However, they were the standard for 20 years, correct? And we know
Mm-hmm.
who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I will go back to what relaunched the Dynasty 2.0, which is the Kansas City Massacre for the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football. Belichick, Brady, McDaniels, Patricia, the players, despite the result of that game, they walked off that field thinking, okay, we figured something out tonight. Why did they figure certain things out? They pulled the starters. They brought in guys who don't necessarily get a lot of playing time, guys who are there for depth purposes, guys who are there for special teams purposes, and they figured out some things. That was the game they figured out how to utilize Brandon LaFell, who was the second true X receiver that Tom Brady ever had. The other one being Randy Moss. They figured out a lot of certain schemes and mental things about some guys deep into their roster, which is why they pretty much cruised through the rest of the season, with the exception of the Ravens divisional game and the Seahawks Super Bowl game. Those were the only two games that were tough for them. They ran through Indy, they ran through Denver, they ran through everybody that year. It wasn't until Baltimore in the division round and Seattle in the Super Bowl that they actually were pushed and they were challenged. And watching those two games, I never felt like they were going to lose because I knew what they had 1 through 53. And a lot of coaches don't know what they have 1 through 53. They know what they have 1 through 30, 1 through 35. But there's a reason you have all those people on the roster. This is the National Football League. You have to be multiple. You have to learn how to adapt. You have to find ways to get as much people on the field as possible and making your scheme effective. And now immediately what I thought of when Jaden Daniels went down and I saw all the stuff on Twitter was, oh, this is almost like Derrick Rose all over again. But Derrick Rose, that was a playoff game. So there was a reason why he was still out there. It was a playoff game. Playoffs. But this was a regular season game, and it was nowhere within reach. You're down by 6 possessions with 10 minutes to go. That is mathematically impossible for you to actually make a comeback in that game. You would have to have the most absurd, ridiculous things happen. You'd have to score a touchdown. They'd have to fumble on the kickoff, and then you score again, and then they fumble again on the kickoff. Like, so many improbable things would have to happen. And not only that, you're not going up against scrubs on the defensive line. You're going up against one of the best defensive lines in the league. And honestly, I'm just going to say this: the Washington Commanders have been so disappointing this year, and it didn't start yesterday against the Seahawks. It started weeks ago. And they kept trickling down and trickling down. And yeah, guys are getting injured. That's a huge problem for them. They lost two players last night, but they've had a schematic issue. they've had tackling issues. They've had coverage issues. They've had communication issues. They've had discipline issues, and it all manifested itself in that moment when Jaden Daniels went down in the same spot that RG3 went down 12 years ago. Freaky. So I don't. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Dan Quinn should be fired. However, I do think 100% it's a fireable offense because that's your franchise. My thoughts on that.
Let's just say it's something about Dan and getting quarterbacks hurt.
Mm,
And some of these coaches that y'all say are doing a good job, it's just something about them and quarterbacks getting hurt that's really, really bad as the bigger picture scheme as you start to look.
yeah, yeah.
But but I
Um,
digress.
let's keep it going. We're gonna try and move fast.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs versus Bills. My 15-second take. I really don't care. It was a good game. It was a fun game. I don't care. This game means nothing to me that the Chiefs lost. Germ.
Gotta get back, dirt off your shoulders. You gotta get that dirt off your shoulders. That's all that is to Pat, man.
Yep. Saints versus Rams, Jags versus Raiders, Broncos versus Texans. Here's my real quick take on this. Why does Denver keep playing around with so many teams they have no business playing 60-minute games with? What is that about? I'll tell you what it's about. It's about the quarterback. The quarterback has not taken the leap that we were expecting him to take. That the trajectory that he was on has sort of flattened out right now, and that's slightly concerning. Any thoughts on that, Jerm?
No, because again, Denver Denver is in a situation for me where if Denver just figures out what they need to do on defense, I know that they're missing some people and things of that nature, but Denver, I don't know, for whatever reason, Denver has just always been inconsistent. It's
Mhm.
a Denver thing. It's a Denver thing. Peyton Manning's not walking through that door.
No, he's not. No, he is not. All right. I don't think we need to go through all these games. Do you want to go through all these games, or do you want to get into the conversations that we want to get into?
Let's get into the conversations, man. Because
Let's get
listen,
into the
it's
conversations.
underwhelming. It's underwhelming. But
Okay.
I don't want to bore. I don't want to bore y'all.
Do you want to start with your topic, or should I start with my
Start with yours.
AFC? Okay.
Let's
So
go.
let's start with the AFC. Okay. AFC looking a little crowded, and it still is. But at the present day, you have the Kansas City Chiefs in the eighth seed at 5-4. So they are technically not in the playoffs as of today. But I can't do the ASMR thing, Germ. But spoiler alert, there's still about 2 months left in the season. Just thought you should know. They're 5-4. Okay. All right. They're 5-4. Let's calm them down a little bit. There's still 8 more games to play for them. They'll be fine. Um, they're probably gonna finish better than your team. Let's just The Jaguars are 5-3. I mean, what can you say about the Jacksonville Jaguars, bro? Like they're so bipolar in my opinion. But at the end of the day, we don't trust their quarterback. Chargers 6-3, Bills 6-2, Steelers 5-3, Broncos 7-2, Patriots 7-2, Colts 7-2. Let's start where the meat is in the AFC West. You got, excuse me, you got the Denver Broncos 7-2, the Los Angeles Chargers 6-3, the Kansas City Chiefs 5-4. So right now, the Broncos have a deceivingly, deceivingly comfortable lead. My question to you, Germ, are you taking the Broncos to win their division? You know what? You know what? That's not even a fun question. My question to you, are you
Remix.
taking the field or are you taking the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West today?
I'm gonna
What you
take the
thinking?
field. I'm gonna take the field to win the division, right? But
Okay,
who
that's interesting.
cares? Who cares? When the playoffs start, The rest of y'all go like y'all really don't do nothing. Y'all don't move the needle. What y'all do every year is, oh, they're gonna beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs ain't gonna do that until somebody beats PM 15. I'm not betting against them in a January game until then.
Mm.
Only players that have beat him in a PM game, a PM 15 beaten, has only occurred with a 12 sighting and with a 9 sighting.
Yeah.
And if we talking about it, Jalen doesn't count because that's the NFC. Good day, sir.
So real quick, okay. Broncos, as we said, are 7-2. Okay. I'm gonna put
Mm-hmm.
you on the spot here a little bit.
Let's do it.
All right.
I
They
have to
got
focus.
the Raiders this Thursday, win or loss.
They better win.
Yeah, right. Then they got the Chiefs, November 16th, 425, Tony Romo special, win or loss.
Loss.
Okay. Then they got the Commanders, Marcus Mariota
Win,
now.
win,
Yeah.
win,
Then they got the Raiders again.
win,
Then they got the Packers.
win.
Oh, wow. Jaguars.
I better win. Win.
Wow. Chiefs,
Loss.
Chargers.
Win.
Damn. You got them going 13-4.
At this
Uh,
stage, think about it this way, right? In order to beat Denver, right? So now Mo, this is my favorite part of the year because I know everybody's weaknesses. I know all your kryptonite. I know everything on your roster. And the trade deadline is only why we know this is because the trade deadline is here. We're looking at what you're trying to add, right? Denver's Achilles heel is everybody not named Pat Surtain in the secondary. They're going to be able to move people around and really get some mismatches on those second and third corners. My problem with Riley Moss was, is he ready for the outside? And it's
mm,
showing he's not. Not saying
mm.
he's a bad player. It's just he's not ready for some of those other bigger name, better receivers that you're going to see on a consistent basis now. The second thing that Denver has a problem with, their offense is not always good when you knock them off schedule. If you can slow that run game down about 75, 80 yards for the game, and you can keep that under control for 60 minutes and make Bo Nix have to beat you, you can beat Denver because Denver won't score
Mm.
more than 21 points.
Okay.
My threshold this year for points is 23. 23 is the magic number. I want y'all to mark my words right now.
Oh,
23 is my magic number. If you can score 23 points and you can hold the other team to 21 to 20 points, you're going to obviously win the game. But I'm telling you, 23 points is
yeah.
the magic number this year.
So a little background on this, right? Because you hear Jerem talk about this all the time. That 24 magic number, we got that from the New England Patriots dynasty. And we saw that the reason I think Brady was like 50-1 in the second half of his career versus AFC teams at home. And the reason for that was in those 50 games, they scored more than 24 points.
24, yep, 24 more.
Ridiculous. Here's the funny part. Jeremy and I haven't talked much the last couple of weeks. Um, not no ain't no drama. All right, that's my brother. We
Mm-hmm.
just life. But
Mm-hmm.
you see the synchronicity. You dropped your magic number down one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually raised it up one to 25. And that's because I'm looking at all these top teams and they're
Mm-hmm.
scoring 25 plus in all their wins. But to your point, they're allowing 23 or less points per game. As a matter of fact, most of them are allowing less than 22 points per game. Shout out to the number. Okay, real quick. Go ahead. You want to add something?
No, but the fact that it's the lab doesn't lie when you look at it,
No,
right?
no.
But the 23 points, right, is really just a symbol of we got too many instances where the kickers are missing extra points. And
Hmm.
then a lot of these teams are substituting. uh, We got teams that are Denver scored two touchdowns and got an extra and got a 2 point conversion, right? So
Yep.
out of their entire game yesterday in regulation, besides that field goal, they had that many scoring opportunities, three. That's not good.
No,
So if
no,
you
it's not.
maximize and you capitalize on all of them, the number that they probably realistically would be at would be what? 23 or 24
Hmm.
points.
Huh. We don't. Hey, we don't just say things to say things, despite some of y'all's opinions on that. And you know, the Ravens are trading for edge rusher Draymond Jones from the Tennessee Titans. Breaking news: the Ravens are trading for Draymond Jones off of Tennessee Titans. Good trade. Not a splash trade, but a very very good trade for the Ravens
Well,
nonetheless.
it's interesting because they moved OA and
Yep.
they moved him to the Chargers.
Hmm.
Then they moved in. Didn't they move Jair as well?
They moved Jair.
And you moved Jair, and then you also moved who else did they moved somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't come with this. I'll look it up right now. But I think I mean, clearly they're trying to get younger in certain positions and bigger in other positions. Um, but they traded Jair, Broderick Washington, no nothing yet on whether he's going to be back or not. Um, I don't know why it's not popping up. I know the Eagles have made several trades. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But nonetheless,
well,
Ravens just
let's
traded
start.
for a pass rusher.
I need you to. We're gonna go over the Eagles thing in a minute. Go ahead, because I gotta get my little
Oh,
Tracy
believe
Morgan right
me.
here, Chief. Because y'all
Ooh,
pissing me off.
ooh, yes.
Y'all
Yes,
pissing
you
me
see
off.
the
See, this is
you see the name. Shout out to Boston G5. You see the name. You see the name. Okay. All right. We'll talk about it. Um, Back to what we were saying, and the 24 points thing, there's Lawler's law in the NBA. We're gonna figure out what to call it here at views from the 22 with the 24 points. Let's go real quick, Jaron. Back to the schedule. Back to the schedule.
we doing Chiefs now.
Um, let's do the Chiefs real quick. You ready?
Yep,
Okay, so next up, the Chiefs. They got the bye week. Then they got the Broncos. You said that's a win.
yep, that's a win.
Okay, then they got Colts.
That's a loss.
Okay, love it. Cowboys,
That's a win.
Texans,
That's a win.
Chargers,
Win,
Titans,
win,
Broncos. You said that's a
win,
win. And then the Raiders, that's a win.
win.
So you have the Kansas City Chiefs.
12-5.
Yeah, so okay. All right. All right. I like it. I like it. I
Because you
seriously
you want
like
to know
it.
what you know the thing about this that is so funny. I don't know if Pat Mahomes has ever beat the Colts.
Really?
Bro, I don't know. And if he has, he's only got one win. Bro, the Colts have been the team that he has struggled against mightily.
He's 1-2 versus the Colts.
And
That's
when I'm
very
talking about
interesting.
struggle, that is a team he struggles against really, really mightily. And it's really because they know who they are, they know their personnel, and they know what they're going to play. And they stick to it the entire game.
And in those three games, so I guess the only time he beat them was in the playoffs. Because in the regular season, his 0-2. And in those three games, he has thrown two touchdowns and one interception only in those three games. So
He's not even
interesting.
getting the statistics.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. I didn't even put those two things together. Let's stick with the AFC for a second. The Indianapolis Colts. We saw what happened yesterday. Okay. We'll talk about the AFC North in a second. Quick, give me your quick answer. Give me your in-depth answer. Whatever you feel. Will the Indianapolis Colts be one of the representatives in the AFC Championship game?
Yes, they run the ball better than everybody else in the NFL, period. And on top of that, they have the most explosive runner in the NFL, period. Daniel Jones is playing the best quarterback in the NFL, period. And on top of that, their defense is the most consistent in the NFL for the last
Mhm.
5 years. Period. There you go.
I love it. I agree with everything you said. We've been talking about this week in and week out. It's not a thing where let's wait and see, let's wait and see. Ain't no wait and see. Watch the film. It is quite evident they are the best team in football. I know what happened yesterday, but I'm not worried about what happened yesterday at all.
They played against
Uh,
Aaron Rodgers. It would. Let me say this: the Colts' only danger in the AFC is if Pat Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. If they play any other team in the AFC, they can beat them.
mhm,
Why? Because every team in the AFC struggles again with certain things. The teams in the AFC that are probably going to be really really good defensively, that they're probably going to have to not have to play, that will give Daniel Jones hell in a handbasket. Teams like the Cleveland Browns, they won't see him. They won't play New England. But I think Drake May would struggle against the Colts defense in a playoff scenario. I think the Colts are one of the five most well coached teams that we
mhm.
have watched all season. They come prepared. They run the ball. They're consistent with what they do, and they get their playmakers the ball. But most importantly, this is the most important part. Their playmakers seem to be initiated into what's going on. You might not see Michael Pittman for 2 weeks, but then you see him making a deflection on a big catch in a situation where he's protecting the football for his quarterback. Everybody's not doing that, bro, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying about that.
The best part about their offense to me is when you look at their box score at the end of the day, like there'll be four receivers with over 40 yards. That doesn't happen in the NFL. You don't see that too often,
Mm-hmm.
including Tyler Warren, who we had a conversation earlier. Shout out to my boy, I believe it was Trey. I don't think it was Alphonse. I think it was Trey. We were talking earlier in the group, Future 22 Facebook group. He asked, "Who's the best tight end in football?" I said, "Look, to me, it's still Brock Bowers and Trey McBride overall, but Tyler Warren is 100% in this conversation right now." And the other thing I would say about your Patriots point with Drake May, let's just keep going with the AFC here. There's a lot of conversation about the Patriots sack rate, and that's a lot of that is on Drake May. Like the offensive line is actually performing really well. Obviously, they didn't perform well against Miles Garrett. Nobody does. Newsflash, breaking news. But a lot of that is on Drake May. There's a lot of situations where he's not throwing the football away, he's not making the right reads, he's playing phenomenal. Don't get that twisted whatsoever. But a lot of those sacks, that sack number can go down by about 5 or 6, which would take away the sack rate conversation at that point because people make such a big deal about sacks and sack rates. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of the bigger picture. What does matter is that there are situations where he's got to learn that a throwaway is a positive play. And if he needs to get examples of that, well, they got all the film you need in that building that you're in about what positive plays are from the quarterback position. So I agree with you. I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to be one half of the AFC Championship game. My next question to you, and you can name the team and name if they need to make a certain trade in order to get to there. My next question to you, who will be that second team versus the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship?
So only two teams it's going to end up being. It's either going to be the Steelers or it's going to be the Chiefs. Let me tell you explain why again. The Chiefs have Pat Mahomes. It's just that simple. He's the best quarterback in the league. It doesn't make a difference as long as he's on the field. They have a chance to win every game. Doesn't make a difference. The next thing is it is definitely the Pittsburgh Steelers. Listen, if the Pittsburgh Steelers can get healthy, get their defense playing the right way, they have all of the components to beat anybody on any given Sunday.
Mm,
They have the quarterback that is the kryptonite to every defense that you're going to play because there's no defense he hasn't seen. They have the running game. When they go with the six bodies, six offensive linemen, and they decide they want to run the football with that running back room, they are virtually unstoppable. And next thing and the most important part about all of this, they have, in my opinion, one of the three best coaches in the league. Say what you want to say about Mike Tomlin. He's the best leader of men in the league right now. Say what you want to say about Mike Tomlin. He is the ultimate motivator of men. Say what you want to say about Mike Tomlin right now. But if you told me that you had a one game scenario to win and you had the right talent in that building and the right quarterback and you had wanted to pick the coach that you wanted for that one game, I'm picking Mike Tomlin. So you give me Pittsburgh or Kansas City. I'll go ahead and just pick Pittsburgh just to give some flair. I'm not picking Pittsburgh for fandom. I'm picking it because Aaron Rodgers adds that much value. When you go into certain things in situations in football, knowing what your quarterback is thinking, knowing what your quarterback is capable of, and knowing what your quarterback is going to do is three different things. We know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do, and that's the most important part of the whole thing. He's going to protect the football, meaning he will throw that mug away. The second thing that he is going to do is he is going to incorporate the players that need to be incorporated majority of the time in the offense. And the third thing and the most important thing is if he doesn't like it, he just won't throw it. These are things
He's done that his whole career. He's
these
done
are
that
the
his
things
whole
that
career.
these are the things that matter when it comes to
Hmm.
January and February football. So if there was ever a year for Aaron Rodgers to be able to solidify his legacy as a top seven quarterback in the history of this sport, this is the team to do it, and this is the way you do it. You got to go out here and you got to win this year. This is your year to do it. This is the year that these teams seem to be the most vulnerable. But most importantly, this is the year that you got the right personnel and
Yep.
you got the right defense. This team is looking just like the Packers team that he won a Super Bowl with 12, 15 years ago.
It sure is. The only thing missing, the only thing missing is a power run game. And that's what's concerning me right now about the
They
Pittsburgh
have that.
Steelers.
They have that. You know what they have to
Do
do?
they?
They have it. They have a guy named Caleb Johnson that happens to be a rookie. You give him the ball and you get the hell out the way, and you make sure that you are priming him for people trying to strip him. That's what you did. You brought Gainwell in as a solid body, but you brought a 6'2", 225-pound running back in your draft room because you wanted to pound and ground and mound the football. Period.
Hmm.
Point blank. That's what needs to happen. Get him ready for the playoffs. He needs to be touching that ball at least 7 to 10 times a game. It becomes the Sean Green effect.
So we have a few people coming on board right now. As we talked about, we're gonna get some people in and out. Storms and Ty, just hang tight. Tanya, if you available, jump on for a few minutes. Okay, welcome to the show. We see the logo.
One thing.
Do you feel, first of all, do you disagree with anything we just said about your team? Number one. Number two, do you feel that there is one move, one position they need to make before tomorrow's 4 o'clock Eastern deadline?
No, I don't disagree. And I want a wide receiver.
Okay. Do you, so let's, this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to get some fan interaction. Shout out to everybody in the comment section as well. I see Boston is in there as well. Pittsburgh fan. Ironic. Um, let's say you got Rashid Shaheed or Jacoby Myers or Jalen Waddle. I don't. The Dolphins have no interest in trading him, despite the rumors. So I would say, I would say, uh, what's his name?
Jacoby
Jacoby
Myers.
Myers. Thank you. Or Rashid Shaheed,
Rashid Shaheed.
or even Calvin Ridley, who's also been flirted out there. What would you be willing to give up? Is my question. Are you willing to give up anything? A fourth round or later, second or third round? What, as a fan, what would make you, the fan, content with getting a wide receiver on your roster for this year?
It would depend on who it is first.
Any of
Second,
those three, any of those three that I just mentioned, any of them.
I would do a third.
Okay,
I would do
interesting. Okay, do you have any preference over those three?
Calvin Ridley.
Okay, okay, interesting. Germany, out of those three and the Calvin Ridley thing, would you give up a third round pick for Calvin Ridley if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I wouldn't
He's
do it for Calvin.
27 years old.
I wouldn't do it for Calvin. I would rather have Jacoby. Jacoby is a chain mover. Jacoby gives you the Jordy Nelson effect.
Are you at all concerned? And this is a question for both of y'all. Are you at all concerned about not having elite speed on the field from the wide receiver position? Because John Smith might be their fastest pass catcher. Are you at all
Well,
concerned about that?
Calvin Austin is the
Calvin
fastest
Austin.
pass.
It's Calvin Austin. It's Calvin Austin.
Calvin Austin is the fastest pass catcher. But
Yeah.
the problem with Pittsburgh right now is they got to put it all together on the field. And they have to have Aaron got to go study that 2012 Tom Brady tape with the personnel grouping of Jalen Warren. We need both tight ends, Fryermuth and John Smith or Darnell Washington, and then you need DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin. If that's what you want to do to give you the speed factor, and you need to be able to go down the field with that personnel group in any type of formation, in any type of package, whatever it is, all no huddle, based on the fact that you got everybody on the field that's a threat to either catch the ball or run the ball. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers' best personnel group.
Okay. See, I my whole thing is what I've been telling everybody is they need to be out there with multiple tight end sets because they have to protect their tackles. So they need to be out there with a multiple tight end set. Um,
I think the
Tanya,
tackles.
good.
I think the tackles are fine with the way Aaron is making decisions. Remember, we're
Mhm.
talking about quick decisions, 2.5 seconds, and it's out. That works for these tackles. They're still young. These are second and third year tackles. So that works. The problem here, 110%, is we gotta stick to what's our identity. Our identity has to be something that makes sense. Twin tight ends. You giving me twin tight ends with the tight end room that they have, and you're telling me that doesn't dictate to a defense what they already don't want to do. DK Metcalf is not the average size receiver,
No,
and he's faster than everybody too. You forget that DK is actually faster than everybody on
he
the field.
is. He is
So,
fast.
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's just Aaron and him have to be better on schedule. And then ultimately, the things that they need is they just need that defense to figure it out. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. Tanya, 60 seconds or less. Give me your last thoughts on your team moving forward. And then we got to move on because the show just picked up a lot. So we got a whole lot of topics to get to in the next 20 minutes or maybe 30 at most. Go ahead, Tanya. 60 seconds or less on your football team.
60 seconds or less. I feel pretty good right now about where we're at. My problem is, again, the defense. I need them to finally be like what they did yesterday. I need them to build on that because I don't know what's been happening. I don't know if they just been tired. I don't know. But yesterday looked like the defense I'm used to seeing. I really don't. I mean, I'm. I don't have no expectations. I don't never go in with expectations. So I'm just here for the ride. I enjoy it.
Okay. Would you like to see Jalen Ramsey stay in that free safety position full time?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. We appreciate you joining us, Tanya, briefly. You're gonna have to make some more appearances as the season progresses,
I
but we're
was
gonna move on. We know, we know, we know. But Mondays and Thursdays, we'll be back more on Mondays and Thursdays from now till the end of the year. So keep that in mind.
Will do.
And then we got a betting segment that's going to be starting in December with my boy Jordan Poor. Shout out to Jordan Poor, who's a parlay genius, even though he doesn't want to admit it. So thank you for joining us, Tanya. Let's move on to the next. Somebody who's been waiting in the background quietly. Come on. Is he here? Is Storm still here? Storm's is somewhere. Yo, yeah. Storms, if you available, jump on real quick and get some stuff off your chest.
Nah, man, I left.
Well, I tell you this, your defense never arrived. So, Josh Storms, welcome to the program. You are a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Jerm, anything you want to say to Mr. Storms before he gets some things off? Because as we said, this is a therapy session for football. Anything you want to add, give to Mr. Storms?
Josh, I do live in Cleveland.
Oh man.
I made that my name because we seem to have the exact opposite of the problems that Cleveland has.
Dude.
It's weird, but bro, I would give me a fire sale. I want to see Trey traded. As much as I hate to say it, and as happy as I was when they got the deal done, I want to see T traded. I want to see Zach Taylor gone. I want to see Al Golden gone. I want to see Duke Tobin gone. I want to see I give Logan Wilson his trade. I want to see people. You know what? Let's make a list of people I want to hold on to.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That's it.
You know what? Give me Chase Brown. Give me the two young linebackers, the rookies,
Yeah.
Barrett Carter, Demetrius Knight Jr. Give me Amarius Mims.
The two young corners.
Yeah, yes, the DJs, 100%. Give me shit. Who's the guard we drafted this year? I don't know. He looks decent though. Let me keep him. Everybody else,
but you ain't got to worry about paying him either, bro. You got to worry about paying him right away. So
everybody
Josh.
else is for sale.
Okay.
Because
yeah, go ahead.
This goes back. I mean, for one, we have seen players from the 2021 championship defense slowly trickle out the door ever since.
Mm-hmm.
But the problems that we're having right now, this really goes back to Zach Taylor firing Lou Anarumo for no reason other than to shore up his own job security.
Exactly. Say it again. Get that off your chest, please.
Because that dude is 10 times the NFL coach that Al Golden will ever be. Al Golden, I'm sure he is a wonderful person, but that man has no business coaching in the NFL, period. It took him 7 weeks with no semblance of a pass rush and Trey off the field half the time. It took him 7 weeks to start blitzing in the first half. Are you fucking kidding me?
Ooh.
Excuse me.
We get one of those an hour. We get one of those a show. Be careful.
My bad. But bro, like 7 weeks to make adjustments. 7 weeks. And then Zach Taylor wants to go out there last week and throw the players under the bus. So we need guys to step up. Now you said when you fired Lou that you wanted to go in a new direction. Well, we here, and it's not as good as the old one.
It's so hard to actually say that they've regressed, but they have regressed, and there are certain analytics that have them as the second worst defense in the last 25 years, second to only the 2008 Detroit 0-16 Lions. That's embarrassing. Meanwhile, the Indianapolis Colts with Sweet Lou are thriving.
And I hope they win it all.
I'm with you. I am completely fine with the Colts winning the Super Bowl. Completely fine with it.
And you replace that man with a guy who like this defense. There's talent on this defense.
There is.
The problem is 100% coaching, because you've got all these guys and they don't play fundamental football. And Jordan Battle's not the only one, but he's the worst example. But yesterday, on 3 different chunk plays, he came in, led with his shoulder, delivered a good hit, and then didn't wrap up the ball carrier, who then bounced off him and then went for each time. I think it was at least another 10 yards. The last one lost the game. Like you gotta wrap up. You gotta wrap up. When especially when the guy's bigger than you, he's got more momentum coming your way than you got going his. I don't know. It's like
it's just the fundamental of what you're doing. A form tackle involves arms, not body.
Yeah.
I've never seen in my life so many people think,
oh my
you throw your
God.
body weight around and you're 240 pounds and you're throwing it at a 260-pound tight end and you think that you're going to launch him or put him on his back? Like,
right. The same
what
match.
sense does that make?
First of all,
I don't know why my camera is going crazy and zooming in and out on me all the time, but
it looks completely fine. Jordan Poor is in the comment section asking, where's Mike Hilton at? He's back with Lou in Indy. He's with the Colts right now. And the one thing that Mike Hilton can do for your football team is blitz. He's going to blitz. He's going to be scrappy. Also, in case y'all didn't know, Jesse Bates still making plays in this league. Where's he at now? Not in Cincy. He was your defensive captain, and you let him walk.
Same with Mike.
The Cincinnati Bengals have completely failed to construct a proper roster. Not from a talent standpoint, like you said, Storms, but they don't have the right pieces moving these chess pieces around. So, to me, the number one thing I want to see from the Cincinnati Bengals, I understand what you're saying about the fire sale. I think they have to move on from Trey Hendrickson because he's clearly going to sign elsewhere in the offseason. And if you can find a way to get a second, or don't get greedy. If somebody can give you a first-round pick like Jerry Jones, who's got 2 of them, great. But if you can get a second or third-round pick for Trey Hendrickson, that's a lot better than losing him and getting a conditional 4th-round pick for him. So definitely the number one thing I want to see from the Cincinnati Bengals, they need to move on from the coaching staff completely. They need to completely move on from the coaching staff because that defense, watching that defense yesterday for me was the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. They couldn't get a single stop. What's worse is you had a football team on their territory with 0 timeouts and a few seconds left. If you would have just tackled somebody inbounds, you could have won that game. If you would have just tackled somebody inbounds, realistically, it would have been more probable than not that you would have won that game. I was agitated. I had a headache watching the Bengals defense, and I can't even imagine being a fan of this football team right now because you have the greatest tease of all in Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But what are you going to do with them? Talent is not the problem. Construction and coaching is where their foundation is weak.
Yeah, I mean, you took a guy who's got a Super Bowl MVP, authored one of the best playoff runs we've ever seen, and wasted the best performance of his career.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else we want to add, Jerm, about the Bengals as before we thank Josh Storms for his time?
Storms, I got your back. I told y'all asses to get rid of T. Higgins. And I told y'all asses that way beforehand. I said he's a good player. You're gonna get you a nice hefty penny out there. And you know what y'all did? Y'all signed him for a nice hefty penny. Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all just don't listen. Y'all just hard headed. Zach Taylor's a toy. I told you. All right, let's go.
Let's do it. All right, before we get Tyshawn in here to talk about college real quick, because I do want to spend 10 minutes on college football before the show finishes. Let's get to Howie Roseman. Germ, why do people still pick up this man's phone? I mean, we
If you're
respect him.
drinking water, I got Dr. Pepper Cherry. Delicious, by the way. All I can do is just drink soda at this point because you know what? It is so out of. We're not even being realistic right now at how many players Howie takes from other teams, finds a way to fit them into his 53-man roster, and then gets the best out of them.
Mm.
But this right here is a reason why the Eagles are the class of their conference and will continue to be the class of their conference because Howie is a football guy. I just needed to say that,
So
and you
yeah,
can
no.
have the
So
rest to yourself.
I had to look. I can just pull it up real quick. So they traded for cornerback Michael Carter from the New York Jets. You know what it gave him? They gave him a 2027 seventh round pick, and they gave him a 2027 seventh round pick, and they gave him a receiver that they're not really using, John Mechie, who he traded for earlier in the season. Mind you, they then traded for Jair Alexander, who I feel is gonna return to form in this scheme. They sent him to the Baltimore Ravens using the sixth round pick that they got from the Houston Texans when they traded away CJ Gardner Johnson. What? So you essentially got Jair Alexander for a seventh round pick. I'll take it. Then, as if the cherry wasn't cherrying enough, you go and get a young, perennial, all pro, capable pass rusher in Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna call them the Miami Mahi Mahis. I ain't gonna call them the Dolphins. What are we doing here? I have so much admiration for what he's doing, but how does he keep getting away with it? This dude just added three quality pieces. All the hoopla, all the Twitter rumors, all the this, all of that. No flash, no noise, no going on Stephen A. Smith show with Michael Irvin. He just doing work. He picking up the phone. He knows exactly what he's going to say, who he wants, and who he's willing to give. The trades with him have been effortless because he's smart. Howie Roseman is the best football executive of the last 25 years. And I don't know if that's even arguable. You could say Brady. I mean, you could say Belichick. He, we don't think so. Coach, okay. Manager of personnel, no. You could bring in the Chiefs and Browns, Jerm Dorsey. He's certainly in that conversation, but he's got nothing to really show for it outside of obviously the Chiefs dynasty that sprang. But he ain't been there for the dynasty. He just got Patrick Mahomes, which obviously huge. But nobody has done as many moves, as many quality moves, and has constructed two separate championship rosters in a 6-year window. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. Hey, did it better, did it nice, did it twice. Oh my God, bro.
Y'all should
Anyways,
be ashamed of yourself.
Germ, real
Right.
quick before we move on to college and we get Ty in. Ty, you can come on video, but we're going to get you in here soon. Real quick, Germ. Last NFL question of the night. NFC Championship. Eagles versus the Rams. True or false?
Ooh, false.
Love it. I love that answer. Okay. Okay.
False.
Well, all right. We'll get into details on the NFC later. Um, we're gonna get Ty, Sean.
Gotta bring me in.
Yeah, get your. Oh, is it not letting you put your video on? Hang
Yeah,
on.
you gotta
Hang on.
turn me on.
My bad. Pause.
Nah,
Easy.
shut up, man. But
I don't.
hold on.
I don't know why it's not letting me start the video. There we go.
All
Okay.
right.
Um.
Before we move to college, let me throw this in because I already told Germ about this, but I knew Jalen was going to get moved because the coaches were kind of fed up with him consistently being injured. You know, we've had him for 5 years. He's only played one full season in his entire 5 years because he keeps having ACL, MCL, which a lot of his stuff is actually kind of freak injuries. So can't blame him. He needed somewhere fresh to restart. So I'm happy for him because I wanted to see him move and hopefully get a new chance. Secondly, Bradley Chubb is the one that I was telling Jerm to be on the watch for because there is somebody dropping names that he's possibly going to end up in the 49ers uniform.
Hmm.
Bradley Chubb might be on the move to the 49ers. They're also fielding calls about Jalen Waddle. I don't want that to happen. That's one of the ones I want to keep. But if somebody throws up a first or second round, maybe a couple of seconds, they might move Jalen. That's what's going on in Miami right now. So there's a lot of pieces that's planning on being moved. And what I'm hearing
Okay.
and what I've been hearing that's going to end up being is that they're going to pull an executive from the Patriots, some black dude that they're planning on bringing on from the Patriots to be the new GM.
Interesting. All right. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's like a little college. We got about 9 minutes.
No.
Um, Jerm, you want to take over quarterback, and you want me to keep quarterback because I got a couple questions I want to ask.
Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. So right now, the AP Top 25, November 3rd, 8:05 Eastern. Ohio State's number one, Indiana number two, A&M number three, Alabama number four, Georgia number five, Oregon number six, Ole Miss number seven, BYU number eight. What's significant? Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Texas, Vanderbilt, Miami, USC, Michigan. None of them right now are in the top eight, right? So here's my question. You got a couple teams that's about to play each other. I think OU's got to play Alabama in a couple weeks.
Homecoming
And
next week.
And then is in Texas, one of the Texas schools is going to Georgia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk about it. You feel like the SEC is going to continue to pollute the top eight? Or how do we feel? I mean, Texas. Do you think Texas will end up in the final eight? Do you think BYU is going to stay in that position? Ole Miss, give me your thoughts here on the college football.
Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin is lethal. They can score. They can score at any given time. To me, they're the most unscripted SEC team there. Matter of fact, in college football, because they can score so fast. There isn't no limit to what they can do with Lane Kiffin. There's nothing. They're the
Okay.
team that I feel is the most unorthodox, lethal wise.
Hmm. You
So,
said, okay, go ahead, Jerm.
so it's really simple for me, right? You know, as much as we might like Texas A&M right now, and we might be high on them right now with them being in the top five, we got to remember this is still a quarterback driven situation for them. And if they're not consistent in that particular situation right there with the way that their quarterback is playing, when he's with him up and down, that's not going to be good for them when they get to play in some of these better defenses. I do believe that Texas is going to be out. I don't believe that Texas has a chance. Texas is done for me this year. It's going to be
Wow.
about next year for Texas because that's where we at. I mean, you know, listen, it's nothing more than they're out of place, and I think that they're one or two games left on this schedule that they're still going to lose. Okay. We've lost all the games we can lose now. Ohio State, can they score enough points in a game where a team gives their defense all that they can handle? That's their question mark. I don't know if that is a thing, but they have the best chance from a defensive standpoint because they might have the best defenders in the country.
Mm.
2 or 3 of maybe the 7. You know what I'm saying? McCaleb Downs being obviously who he is and everything like that. But my sleeper teams, of course, I'm always going to have Oregon. Oregon can still be a team that can beat anybody on any given Saturday.
Super fast.
Again, another fast break offense. These teams that can score, if I tell y'all every week, if they can score, they can score. That's how I go.
And see what makes Ohio State so dangerous. And I told somebody this a while back. Everybody's like, "Oh, Ohio State ain't played nobody. They ain't played nobody." I want y'all to take something from Roy Jones Jr. Nah, they just make people look like nobody. That defense is something that we seen. Remember that Nick Saban defense that everybody says is historic, that everybody that feared when they had that big monk named Reuben Foster anchoring that team? Mm-hmm. Do you remember that team? Okay, this is what we're seeing. Because Ohio State has so much depth at defense. It don't matter who they take out. Who comes in, it looks like the same people who's been in the whole entire game. They're not missing nothing. And then Nick Saban said this Saturday, there was an idiot of a coach that had Julian Sayin playing scout team this whole time. And I can't quite put my finger on who that coach is. And he was talking about himself.
He was talking about himself.
Because Julian Sayin, and I told people this, he wanted either Alabama or he wanted Ohio State. When Nick Saban retired, he went back to Ryan Day. Julian Sayin is basically what they had last year, just with the better qualities of a quarterback. He's not going to make the mistakes. He's been around the big games. He just hasn't played in them. But this team is so comfortably, perfectly fit for him. Even if he makes mistakes, he still has the skill to make up for it because look who he's got. He's got the 2 best receivers in the college football right now. On the same thing, you got Tate and you got Smith on the same squad. Man, that's right now they're the most complete team in every aspect.
So let me get Tanya in on this, right? I believe shout out to Big Shot correcting me. It's 12 teams that get in the playoffs. The Big Ten had 4 teams. That's a record. Tanya, obviously you got the big heavyweights. You got Georgia. You got Ole Miss. You got wait, hold on. I just had this. You got Georgia, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Texas. Right now, Texas A&M is first in the SEC. 2 questions for you. Do you think 4 or more teams from the SEC will make the playoffs? First question. Second question, who do you think will win the SEC? You still got Florida that's got to play Georgia. Alabama got to play LSU.
Florida just lost to Georgia Saturday.
Sorry. You're right. You still got Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, OU, Auburn, Alabama.
Ole Miss just lost to Georgia week before last.
But they playing them again, though. No, wait, Georgia lost to Ole Miss?
No, Georgia beat Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, that was last week. They beat them in
Athens.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so 2-part question. Do you think 1 of 4 teams will make it? And who will win the SEC?
Well, we're winning the SEC. However,
for the folks at home, who is we?
Oh.
All right. I can dig it.
I think it might be right at 4. I don't think there'll be more than 4 because
interesting.
because our schedule, we all are. There's no more East or West, so we're all
Right.
playing each other, and we all beat. Well, we beating up on everybody else, but they're all beating up on each other. So, like Texas A&M and LSU has played, Georgia and Florida has played, Georgia we played Georgia, Vandy's played LSU. Like we've all played each other. So
Right. Right.
I think just by the schedule that they have, I don't think Texas A&M is going to lose until they see us in the SEC championship.
Okay. So
Just
okay,
based on their schedule.
got you. Okay. So Ty, you said there's 6 teams right now in the top 12. A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss.
Who else? Who else was it? So yeah, Texas, Ole Miss. No, LSU's out, right?
Yeah,
LSU's
LSU's
still out.
out.
Yeah, LSU's not in
Um,
there. LSU's not even in the top 25 right now.
Where did they move Oklahoma to?
I haven't looked at the rankings. What's the rank?
Oklahoma's in the SEC. They're 7-2. They're 7-2, and they're
What's the rank?
currently number 11.
Oh yeah, so they're barely in.
Texas
Okay.
A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. So that's 5. There was one more. I swear. Georgia. Yeah, there's 6. They got 6 right now.
Okay. And you think all 6 of them are going to make a tie, or you think 2 of them are going to drop out?
I see Texas. I see the Texas Longhorns losing out, and I don't think Oklahoma Sooners is there yet. I don't think they're there yet. There's too much inconsistency with them.
Well, Texas right now.
Out.
Texas right now is number 13, so they're just
out
on the outside, right?
yeah.
But you do have so you got A&M versus Missouri coming up. That's going to be a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember, as Big Shot also said in the comment section, and Jordan
And
Poor as well.
Where's Vandy led?
They released the college playoff thing tomorrow. Vandy's at 15. They're 7-2 as well. So here's my last question, and we got to do another college football show. My last question before we jump out.
Okay.
Will a 3-loss team be in the top 12?
It's very
and
possible.
Make the playoffs?
It's highly possible. It's highly possible.
What's your answer, Ty?
And the reason why I say this, and Tony, I agree with this wholeheartedly, because ever since this 12-team playoff came in, it's evened out. The NIL and the 12-team evened everything out. Everybody's not hopping on with their homeboys to go like, I got to go to Auburn. I got to go to Ohio State. They can go anywhere now because money's stretched out. Sponsors are spending money no matter what. This is the second year of the 12-team playoffs. It's only going to get wilder. We're going to see a lot of teams that we aren't accustomed to stepping into the playoffs and possibly being in the national championship.
But it's going to depend, I think, on what the 3 losses are. Like, for example, like let's say, who got 2 losses? Ole Miss? No, let's say.
I can help you out real quick if you want.
Who got 2 losses?
Oklahoma got 2. Notre Dame got 2. Texas got 2. Vanderbilt got 2. Utah got 2. And then Miami, Missouri, USC, Michigan got 2 as well. Memphis only got 1 loss so far, but that's who you got.
It's going to depend on who you lose to. Like, out of those, like for example, if let's say
Oklahoma. Let's say Oklahoma. Yeah.
Okay, let's say Oklahoma loses to us next week, and then I don't even know if they play Texas A&M, but let's just say they lose to us and Texas A&M. Well, you're losing to number 3 and number 4, so it's really not as bad as you losing to like UAB. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's going to depend on who you lose to for that third loss.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk off air because we got to get going. I appreciate y'all joining me. Y'all know I am a very much a novice when it comes to college football. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a little college football messenger group.
If
you want to be a part of it, please let me know. And we are gonna try to do a couple shows. It don't have to be an hour long, like 94 Feet of Life and Views. It could be 30 minutes, whatever. And yes, we are doing this live on the air right now. So we're gonna put together something, but this is for our audience, our fans, our members. Stay tuned. From now till New Year's, we're gonna shoot for about 7 college football shows. So stay tuned for that. Ty, I appreciate you, First Lady, as always. Shout out to Mr. Storms. Shout out to Dr. Love in the building. The dish is going
Hey,
live in about an hour, 20 minutes. Shout out to my brother Germ So True. Everybody in the comment section, we love you. Germ ain't here. Tanya, take us home.
You too.